Hello, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. It is finally Christmas time, so I want to show you guys how I created these homemade ornaments. So if you want to try to make these, go ahead and keep on watching. When it comes to supplies, thankfully there's actually not too many things that you need, but you will definitely need some UV resin. I got this one from Michael's, I believe, but you can get them at any art store. And then you're gonna need wood slices. You can either get this box that already has them made as ornaments, or you can get your own wood slice and drill a hole and just make them yourself. I as well use color pencils and I as well use paint, but you may use either or, it kind of just depends. And then I of course use glitter, and you'll as well need paintbrushes and some tracing paper, but that's kind of optional. Alright, so first I always start with sketching. Now, if you don't have an iPad, you can of course sketch on paper. I just have been getting very comfortable, and I guess you could say maybe a little bit lazy. Like, it's just all the crazy tools that you have on Procreate that you don't have when you're drawing traditionally, and it just helps the process go a little bit faster when you're making a bunch of these. So I personally use my iPad, but you can use a piece of paper, and you just want to start sketching out the ideas that you have. So personally for me, I decided to make a set of ornaments, and I wanted them to be the Wizard of Oz, just because my grandma, she loved Wizard of Oz, my mom, and it just reminds me a lot of Christmas. So I was really excited to be able to design each character. So I am using the symmetry tool on this iPad, and that's one of the cool little tricks I was talking about. So basically I'm able to draw an image like in half the time. But yeah, I'm doing mostly front facing poses anyway because the wood slices are such a small surface. So I want to be able to have most simplistic and like most detail I possibly can. But yeah, I love the symmetry tool. It's a great tool on your iPad, so it really helped me get through these drawings a little bit faster. And when it comes to designing your own original characters, for me, that took me about like 1 or 2 years of like drawing almost every single day and trying my best to learn the most I could about character design. So even though like, you know, drawing your characters like this character looks so simple, it took me a long time to get to a point that I had my own style and was able to view the reference, the actual Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, and as well look at other people's interpretations and create my own. And once you kind of like stop looking at things and wanting to emulate them and you really just draw how you naturally draw, that's when I do believe that your original characters really do come to life. And it does take a long time. Like, you really have to work at it. It doesn't just like come right away. But once you get there, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, one of my favorite things is designing characters. So yes, this is Darth Vader and Baby Yoda, and the reason I'm showing you guys this little clip is because I wanted to show you guys an example of me transferring my image from an iPad to a wood slice, and I do not have any footage of the Wizard of Oz set. So I'm going to show you guys with these, and it's very simple. You're just going to use tracing paper. You're going to trace the image on your iPad, flip it over, and then you're going to put it onto the wood slice, and then you're going to firmly press down on the paper, and then your image will appear, and then you will then have to probably redraw over it. Sometimes it's very hard, but you get the guidelines pretty correct, and that is how you transfer the image. I have another video I'll link down below that shows a little bit more in depth of how to do that, but this is just an easier way and a more simple way, especially when you're making a bunch of these. So yeah, it's a good little tool. So now it's finally time for the most fun part. I'm going to start adding in some color and some life into these ornaments. And I'm starting off with Dorothy, and I decided to go for a red background just to make sure you know it's Dorothy. And I as well will be adding some glitter to make it look ruby red. But that can really help with your designs. Those small little details, just adding red or like those little things, can really help people really understand what you're going for and who you're drawing. So the ruby red was just perfect for her. And then I began going in with my color pencil. Personally, I like color pencil over paint, so that is why I always tend to use color pencils, but you can really do whatever you want. But that's just my preferred medium when it comes to wood. I love the way I get to use color pencils on wood and have my color pencil drawings and illustrations not just on paper and not just like in a frame, but you can hang them up, or in this case, make ornaments out of them. So I love being able to mix paint with color pencil, and it's fun. Mixed media is really fun. So I first just start with the darker colors, and then I will uh, end up with the highlight almost like a white color. And yeah, I try not to do too crazy because this is such a small drawing, but I try to get as much depth in the face as I possibly can. So now I'm going in for that ruby red look, and I'm using the Unicorn Spit brand. I love this brand for wood. I'm using the gel stain, and it is like a sparkling version of this paint, and it's just perfect for wood. It like absorbs in the wood, and it's just awesome. So I love that stuff. You should try some Unicorn Spit if you like to paint on wood. So I'm now moving on to the scarecrow, and I did not know for sure what I wanted to do with the background. So I decided to just start with the eyes, and then I moved on to the face. And I just wanted to make him look very like fall, so I used a lot of yellows and browns. And the technique that I use when it comes to color pencils is I start with the colors very lightly, and then as I get to the lighter colors, I'll start pressing down on the pencil a little bit more. And that's just what I found works for me the best when it comes to blending on wood. But yeah, I really think it's nice to see how color pencil shows up so much on wood, and a lot of people are kind of surprised when I'm out selling my art or something. They're always asking like, "What is this? Is this acrylic?" And I'm like, "That's color pencil," and they're like, "What?" So yeah, color pencil works great on wood, and you just kind of have to find what works for you. If you like that textured look, you can keep your drawings a little lighter, but you sometimes need to press down a bit hard, maybe harder than you think, to get the look you're going for. So to add some highlight to the face and the eyes, I used a jelly roll pen, and I love them. They are super useful, and it just helps me add a lot more highlight to the face. And yeah, a jelly roll pen, and they're very useful. So with the Tin Man, I automatically knew what I wanted to do, and I decided to go in with a green. And there were so many reasons for the green. I believe that the green was going to look great with the silver Tin Man. It as well looked Christmassy and worked well with the Dorothy ornament, and it represented the Emerald City in the film. So it was just perfect, and a lot of times it takes me forever to decide things. So it was great that it just worked out completely. So yeah, this one was a pretty fun one and a quick one. So now for the last character, we have the lion, and honestly, I was the least confident in this sketch that I made. I liked the sketch, but I also didn't. I don't know, and I kind of just went for it and thought, the color was going to add what I needed to like it. And that was true, but it wasn't really until it was completely done, and I'll show you guys in a second, in a little bit, um, that I liked it. So this whole time I was kind of like about it, but I kept going with it, and I decided to go with a yellow background, which just did not work. But once I put on some gold glitter on top of it, it really helped the drawing. So you're going to see the yellow and you may be like, oh my god, but with the gold glitter on top, it really helped the illustration, I think, work. And I was scared the whole time. So, yeah. And when it goes through the background, like I said before, I kind of tried to make the background similar to make them all tie in together as a set. So the Dorothy and the Tin Man kind of look um, like a little duo, and I added this gold to help the lion and the scarecrow kind of look like a duo. And then when they're all set out together, they can all look like one set of something. So the gold really helped the lion tie in to the rest of the characters. So yeah, when in doubt, use some glitter. So now I am going in with some resin, and I'm using the UV resin I showed you before. And I really like UV resin over regular resin, especially for small pieces like this. I can kind of just spread out the resin and then find the bubbles that I need to pop before allowing it to dry in the sun. And it's just, to me, a lot easier than the resin that you get in a big jug and mix together. But obviously, that resin is sometimes needed for big projects. Um, but I try to put on not too big of an amount so I don't make the ornaments super heavy and nothing falls over the edges. And I as well pop all the bubbles before I go outside. I personally like using the sun the best. I like it better than the light that I bought to dry these. So I make sure that the sun is out and I go ahead and put them out, and they harden and they come back like this. So as you can see, they are now hard and they have that nice shiny look. And these came out really good, and I'm really happy with them. It takes a while with resin to like make sure not to have bubbles and all that, but once you kind of get a hang of like popping bubbles and finding what is right with resin, it really pays off. So yeah, we are at the final stages. I'm now just adding the ribbon back on to these ornaments because I took them off while using the resin, and they are now just about ready. So I'm very excited. All right, so here is the final set of Wizard of Oz ornaments, and I'm so happy with them. I had such a great time, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how these characters came out. Personally, my favorite ornament is the Tin Man, like I said before, but I would love to know down below what is your favorite. I had a great time making these, and I hope you learned something on this video. And these guys will actually be available on my Etsy, which I have linked down below, on Black Friday. They will be dropping with a bunch of other characters. So here they are on the tree, and I love the way the lights work with the resin. It just makes them look super glossy and shiny. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time making these, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.